All right. Looks like we're live. Cool beans. Let's see. I'll just get this link up real quick. Hi, everybody. I know nobody's on it yet, but hello to anybody that's watching the later recording. I got to figure out something later on, like maybe. That's one thing I want to mention. Any of you that are interested in timestamping my shit, hit me up. If you end up watching most of the streams entirely and you want to timestamp like what kind of goes on, if you're bored and just feel like doing it, tell me, because I don't have time to do that. But if somebody wants to take the time to do that, inform me, and that way I know when to look out for the comments. I could pin it, and so on and so forth. But that's only if somebody feels like doing it. If they don't, then fuck it, whatever. It's up to you. Um, because the conversations tend to go all over the place and they kind of tend to go in various directions. So it's kind of difficult to, especially to if somebody wants to hear about something specific that was discussed on the stream. Because sometimes we'll go into three different subjects on the same stream, or a subject that isn't even entirely related to what the title states, which is kind of funny. That happens a lot. Um, I want to. Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta fucking change the title of this shit. It's like not even the right title. Doing it right now. What the fuck? I is dumb. It's number 5, first of all. So number 5, and do some commentary as well. So I am new to this realm of streaming as far as like commentary goes. So that's going to be interesting. I'm probably going to be really bad at it. Since I've never really tried it. But we shall see. Perhaps not. Perhaps it won't have to be the case. Oh, okay, cool. I got 2 people hopped on already. Hey, whoever you are. It's probably my regulars. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna use my remote viewing and say it's AR400 is one of them. I'm almost entirely
Hello.
sure. Oh shit! Who's on with me? Oh hey Karma. Damn, that was quick. I rarely get somebody on here that fast. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Just a tad bit. I don't want to say emotional, but
Kind of feeling
I,
down or what?
well, no. I'm watching this TV show called Love Victor, right? And it's a spinoff of Love Simon.
I have
And
no
there's a
idea what
lot of
that is, but sure, go ahead.
you should look it up. But there's a lot of shit that goes on in this TV show that's like hits real close to home for me.
What is it
'Cause
called?
it's called Love Victor.
Love Victor?
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Like somebody's name or like Victor, like
Yes,
victory?
like
Oh, okay.
love and then
Victor. Okay.
comma Victor.
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. It sounds like a game show or reality show.
It's a really good show.
All
I'm
right.
enjoying it.
I'm glad you are. I guess it's got you in a state. For a Zoid to say it's relatable is impressive. So, hi, E-Man. What's up, man?
Right.
E-Man, if you want to jump on, go for it, dude. I'm gonna try something new. We're gonna do some video commentary, which is like definitely something I haven't fucked with, but I feel like fucking with today. So if you want to jump on the stream, go for it too, dude.
I see.
Hmm?
I see that you finally made it where the people in the Discord can watch the stream.
Well, I mean, I was able to do it before, but it was kind of pointless if it's just me reading. And usually when it's videos,
I guess
I've done
that's
it before. I've done it before. Um, but I was worried that it would cause issues or problems with the stream, but it doesn't seem to, so that's good. And apparently, everyone I think should be able to see. There should be like a big picture and a small picture. I had to basically I had to stream on Discord at the same time, so that you guys can see it, because I'm a boomer and I probably don't know a better way of doing this. So it's
Fucking
okay
boomer.
though. Yeah, I am a fucking boomer, man. What can I say? What can I say? I'm an old ass man. In any
Well, you're
case,
not that.
hmm?
You're not that old,
Nah, shut
Angst.
up. Anyway, um, in any case, since I already got a few people, they say to say this. What is it? They say the call to action shit early on, so I might as well do it. If you watch this and don't have a YouTube account, make one. Subscribe to me. Hit that fucking stupid bell thing so I could actually tell you when I jump on the streams, so that way we can hang out or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, do that stuff. And if you know anybody that is into mental health stuff or likes long form streams and things like that, um, or happens to be a Zoid or something, I'm getting some feedback on your end there, Karma. Go ahead and tell them, and maybe we can make this thing grow a little bit over time. So, I mean, that's all I can ask, right? Oh, and of course, like if you like whatever the fuck it is that I talk about on here and what I'm doing, as cringe as it can sometimes be, please support me on Patreon, PayPal, or Bitcoin. I have it all on there and available for whoever wants to contribute and donate to support the stream slash channel slash server and fucking every other aspect of this insane project that I'm undertaking. Um, in any case, what I want to do today is a little different than what I usually do. I haven't ever done
Oh
like a
my.
video commentary type thing, so I'm not sure if I'm any good at it. But whatever, even if I'm not, fuck you. Oh well, it's my first time giving it a shot, so deal with it. Um, in any case, I'm gonna be watching what is seems to be the top video when you type in the words schizoid personality disorder on YouTube. So if somebody say were to search it because they're curious about it or wondering if they have it or something, this is more than likely the video they're gonna watch. This is gonna be the first video they watch because it's gonna be the um, top top thing that's there. So I think I watched part of this video a long time ago because it was initially published like 2 years ago. So and at the time I wasn't like actively searching when I probably watch it initially, because I usually don't when I myself when I try to research something on YouTube, I try to scroll down. I usually don't trust the first handful of videos because they're usually popular and not for the right reasons. But you know, who knows? But today I want to look over this one and maybe others. But if I get a few of you on here to join me on the live stream, there's actually something a little more, I guess, big brain that I'd rather video commentary on, which is a discussion between a certain YouTuber and Eleanor Greenberg. Um, it's longer. I don't know if I can cover the whole thing, depending on how often we pause. But it's definitely one that I wanted to go over because I haven't watched the entirety of it, and I thought it would be helpful because Greenberg is probably one of the only people I ever read anything and heard anything being said regarding schizoid personality disorder that's coming from a psychologist that makes any kind of sense. Um, but yeah, that's the gist of it. So I'm just gonna give this one a start, and we're just gonna see how it goes. Fuck it. I don't have anything better to do. Oh, and sorry to anybody that wasn't prepared for. Usually, I like to give people a heads up on the streams, but I got a block of time. I got like a 2.5 hour block of time, pretty much that I have available right now. So I have to use it. Not often that happens. And now my cursor on my mouse disappeared. I don't know why it does that. It only happens when I'm trying to stream. It's the weirdest shit. Hold on. There we go. Control Alt deleting is the only way I seem to fix it. Okay. Oh, and I didn't quite fix it. There we go. All right, so the volume should be good on it. I'm just gonna watch it and comment, and you guys can go ahead and drop whatever you want in chat, your opinions on it. This particular person, Katie Morton, I mean, they got 1 million subscribers, so there must be a good
Oh,
reason for that. So let's find out what's up.
Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about schizoid personality disorder. But before we jump into this very important...
That's already going to make people like cringe, because I remember how often I got shit for saying schizoid instead of schizoid, like constantly.
Oh.
When I was initially doing videos and things, people would make fun of me for saying schizoid because it's actually supposed to be schizoid. But I never liked schizoid because when you say it, it sounds too much like schizophrenia. And
people always associate it with it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it, oh no, I don't want to be like, oh, so terrible to be thought of as a schizophrenic. It's not so much that, it's just inaccurate. And most people just hear schizoid and they think, oh, schizophrenic, and oftentimes the word schizo is a pejorative for people that are like mentally ill or something. So it's just or just a word people use for saying someone's crazy or insane. They say, oh, that guy's a schizo, right? So so it sounds too much like both the word schizo, the pejorative, and schizophrenic. So that's why I had an issue with schizoid, but that's how it's said, and I just gotta own it. That's why for a long time I was saying schizoid. Yeah, I just got a lot of shit for it. So I don't know if she
will you
got
turn the volume up on that?
What happened?
Will you turn the volume up on that video?
I thought I had it up really high. Let me see.
I'm watching it through the Discord, so I mean, it's just not really loud.
Well, let me see. I'll turn it up all the way on my end, but I don't know if that's gonna help. I'd like to know in the chat if that was even loud enough. Whoever heard that little snippet just now. You forgot to add the server. Oh my god. God damn it. Nanoma, thank you for watching my back. I thought I posted it. No, I didn't. I did not post the actual fucking link. Give me 1 second. That's so funny, man. Like that's the kind of shit that like I usually try to be on top of, but my brain will just go in a whatever direction it decides to go. And you guys know what that's about. Like you guys know that fucking life. Let me post it in the I even had it in my mind. I'm like, I gotta post this like right now. And then I think I got distracted because stupid Karma jumped on and I started talking. So I'm gonna blame it on you, Karma. Okay.
All right.
Is that all right with you?
You can blame it on me.
All right, cool. It's the benefit of having people that like to jump on my stream that all have low self-esteem and don't care. So, including myself. Let's see here. Okay. Watch you fucks. There we go. Okay. Cool. There, I just posted it on the stream. Thank you, Nomo, as usual. You're a fucking Zoid sweetie, my friend. All the loves. Why are you asking me for my email?
Because I got something I want to send you.
I'm scared.
Don't be. It's what we talked about yesterday. It's only the first chapter.
Okay. Well, why didn't you just send it to me on Discord?
I mean, because I can't. It won't let me. I have it on my computer, and I sent an email.
So send it. Man, fucking. I'll tell you later. Not right now. God damn it.
That's why I DM'd you.
No, I know, but shut up. Whatever. Anyway, okay, so let's actually get started fucking finally. But anyway, that was just a off thing about how like the word is pronounced, and you'll get people give you shit. Nanomo drew a picture of a character from a game called The Longing on skis to make fun of the fact that I say schizoid. Okay, but anyway, let's keep going.
Important topic. Are you new to my channel? Welcome! I release videos on Mondays and on Thursdays, so make sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on so you don't miss out.
Yeah, see, I should do that.
Schizoid personality disorder.
I should do the little bell picture.
In short, the DSM describes it as a pattern of detachment from social relationships and a restricted range of emotional expression. Okay? Meaning that someone with SPD, Schizoid personality disorder, would prefer to be alone, and they would struggle to express much of what they feel, which I can imagine could be really difficult and at times really frustrating for them.
Yeah, no fucking duh, right? I like that. I like the whenever I see videos on like how do I put this? When they talk about a certain personality disorder, I've seen other stuff like that. Like the maker of the video oftentimes does that kind of thing where what she just did right now, which is like a kind of a like a pathos type thing. Like, oh man, it must be so difficult for them. It must be so, and it's just funny because if anybody else hears that, maybe it affects them positively because like she seems empathetic or something. But to a Zoid hearing that, it's just annoying. At least I find it annoying because it's like, yeah, okay, I don't need you to say that. Like, I don't need you to relate to me. Like, I don't need you to think about how frustrating it is. But that's just me being
My thing
picky.
is,
Like, whatever.
I don't feel I don't want them to pity me, you know.
Well, fuck that too. But I just don't even want
Yeah.
them to empathize. Like, it's not even just about pity, like, or attempt to, because you can't. And so, like, just like I can't empathize with something that, say, you might, like, a person that's not a Zoid might go through. Like I can't empathize as well. So I feel
I
we.
mean,
I feel
they'll never understand. They'll
well,
never understand.
but I don't.
So
I
you
don't
shouldn't
like.
try.
I don't get mad. It's just annoying because it's like I can't empathize with your shit. Like so, I prefer if you didn't try with mine.
Right.
But I don't know how right that is. Like that just might be part of the PD itself or a defense mechanism or something. So it's just a afterthought. Whatever.
But now to get into the actual diagnostic criteria, or in other words, what we have to have in order to be diagnosed with schizoid personality disorder, one must have
Hold on. I just full screened it. I want to make sure it didn't fuck up my the way it looks on the stream itself on the OBS. Okay, that's weird. How come it's like way over there? You guys see that too? It like put it in the corner. It's like small in the corner, right?
Oh yeah, her face.
Yeah, like okay. Oh yeah, her face
Yeah.
isn't small in the corner. Okay, cool. Then I'm good. I'm good. I'm just going crazy. All right, let's go.
Pervasive pattern of detachment from social relationships and a restricted range of expression of emotions in interpersonal settings, beginning by early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts, meaning it can happen at work, school, and with a variety of people. So it doesn't just happen in one certain scenario. And it has to be indicated by 4 or more of the following.
See, right there, that alone, it has to be indicated.
No, it doesn't.
Well, I mean, and then it's really difficult to indicate anything because of the masking component. The masking component makes it so fucking hard to diagnose and also to really comprehend what is the schizoid PD and what is the mask and what is an attempt or a delusion by the person that they don't have a PD and so they live by the mask. It's like it's a mess, so I can't really fault them for that one. But anyway, let's just see your meaning is scroll. And yeah, and I talked about that before too, the how it sets in adulthood or early adulthood. And that I said why. It's because that's when your very different sort of cognition that you've learned to understand the world by doesn't it starts entering the social realm, and then god damn it, karma fucking sound effects. Start entering the social realm, and then it starts really fucking with your perception of self, because the way you think and the way you experience and the way you learn is so different from other people, and so that makes you feel alienated in and of itself. So, and that's kind of what leads to some of the negative symptoms, in my opinion. God damn it, Karma! Why are you making noises? The fuck are you
I
doing?
fucking hit my toe, bro.
Okay, well, fucking mute your shit when you hit your toe, you fucking guy. Anyway. God damn it, man. All right. So, yeah, let's keep going.
Number 1, neither desires nor enjoys close relationships, including being part of a family. Meaning it's not just romantic relationships, they just really don't enjoy any kind of relationship with anybody. Number 2.
Okay, so, man, am I gonna pause like every fucking 30 seconds? Like, I'm so sorry.
That is so wrong, though. I don't agree with.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't like to say like straight up no, because there is a lot of there are people on the server as well that follow this channel and stuff that do feel that way. But one of the issues that comes with that is that they sometimes feel that way, and not really for the reasons that are being assumed by the DSM or psychologists or whoever. For example, not desiring nor enjoying close relationships. See, I think the emphasis should be placed on not enjoying. And the reason a lot of those relationships are not enjoyed is because they have so many components that we don't understand intuitively because of the way our cognition is, the way what our intuitions gravitate toward, which is not social intuition and emotional intuition. It's I guess what you would call like an intellectual intuition, or intellect-based intuitions are generally what guide a lot of our decision making, and our
let me
ability.
tell you, logic does not work very well in a relationship.
No, it does not, unless maybe you're dating another Zoid.
Right.
But
That privilege.
yeah, as well, that's not usually the case. And I think what it happens is because of that sense of not being understood, and not other people not being able to relate to others because of the way your cognition sort of is. It then makes you feel as though you are not part of anything, and you then start creating these barriers. In my opinion, I'm not a professional. This is just my own, what I know based on what I've read and experienced and so on and so forth. That you create these barriers to keep everyone out, because what you're actually keeping out isn't necessarily some need for people, but it's more like the need for people that won't provide you any kind of relatability or closeness because of the way they interpret and approach the world, human connection, so on and so forth. And so because you're generally going to experience more people that have more conventional methods of connecting to one another, that is, to say the least, uncomfortable or undesirable to the schizoid, you end up kind of throwing out the baby with the bathwater, because you never come across very many people that you can actually get close to in the way that would function for you. So that's why I have an issue with when it says neither desires nor enjoys close relationships, because there's a lot of nuance there that isn't being discussed, and the word desire is very, very difficult. I mean, I think it's a wrong phrase to be using, because there's plenty of schizoids that desire a close relationship. They just can't achieve it. And so then after not being able to achieve it for years, they then reject all close relationships.
You just give up on it.
Yeah, because you're like, fuck this. I'm never going to have it.
Right.
I hate it. And that's not the case. That's not the case.
That's where my brother is at right now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But it's just funny because he managed to develop a close relationship with you.
Right. I'm the only person he has a close relationship with. And I'm like, bro, I love you. I do. I'm like, but you have to you have to still look for somebody.
I mean, there is somebody there for you. It's really, really difficult for us because...
Yeah, like I told him, I said, I have your back to the end of fucking time, but... there are some things I just can't help you with.
I mean, yeah, you're not gonna start sucking your brother's dick. I mean, you would, but he won't let you.
No, I would not.
Anyway,
maybe a long time
hey,
ago.
Alabama. Anyway, so in any case, yeah, that's kind of the point I want to try to make with that. Let's continue.
2 almost always chooses solitary activities. Number 3 has little, if any, interest in having sexual experiences with another person. And this is
okay. Well, there's already more issues, and this is more of a commentary on the DSM, not so much on her video. So, but it's a good way to discuss it, regardless, because this is probably what I'm gonna find in most videos that talk about it. They're just gonna bring up this shit. almost always chooses solitary activities. What choice do we have? The issue is this, and is a lot of us would not mind doing group-based activities such as board games, competitive or cooperative video games. Maybe some of us are more into physicality, certain types of sports and such. But the problem is that our first experience with such things was maybe in high school, right? Or during our teenage years and our early 20s and so on. What happens when you try to join in on group activities? Usually part of the focus is on the social aspects of that group activity. It is not on the activity itself. If it were to be the activity itself that the focus remains on, then I think a lot of Zoids would have a good time doing group activities or non-solitary activities. But the fact is, many times when you try to do these activities, they turn into social situations. They turn into situations in which the emphasis starts being placed on things like social intuition, emotional intuition, things of that nature that are not relatable and confusing. And oftentimes, if you can't kind of follow those norms, you're ostracized in some respect or another. Not meaning that they'll treat you like shit or bully you, which often does happen to many of us in our earlier years, but you guys just kind of you just become the weird kid or the kid or the whatever kid. And so because there's these kind of negative situations that occur within those group settings and those group activities, we then over time choose solitary activities in order to avoid all those things. This is what I mean. Like they don't really explain why this happens. Like and if even if they couldn't just explain it in something as simple as like descriptors and DSM descriptors, there could be a better choice of words in order to leave certain things open-ended about what it is you're trying to say. Let me see if anybody's. Oh, here, Taito Art. Oh yeah, well, Game Ben said, "Did you read one of Karma's books?" Hell no, I have not. Apparently, I have to give Karma my email so that they can do that. Taito Art says, "I feel like since the feelings of a schizoid are best described by a schizoid themselves, so videos like this with upbeat psych majors that think they know how it feels are strange. Yes, they are very strange." But we can't resent them for it. They're just trying to talk about a subject because that's their demographic, that's their subject. But it's good for, I think this is the reason I'm kind of doing like I guess critique or of a video that's really really popular, is so that I can kind of put in that nuance about the actual Zoid experience when somebody's discussing it, because somebody like her or somebody that's actually interested in the topic as as an outside viewer, just somebody that's interested in psychology or something like that, I think the best thing you can do is offer up I guess, your knowledgeable experience on the subject, and then share and productively criticize so that somebody else can watch this and actually learn a little bit more detail-wise. Oh, hey, shit, I got a fuck ton of. All right, what's up, Nanomo? E-Man, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
That's good you were able to get on. Oh shit, I just realized it doesn't matter. My headphones are backwards, but whatever. So yeah, hey, welcome guys. Do my fucking first video, stop every 30 seconds and talk about it thing. How fun is that? It's something I enjoy watching others do, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself, and on a subject that might be relevant. Okay. Do you guys want to throw anything into all this that I've said so far?
I agree with Tato on this, on what they said. How it feels strange that it's just not the people suffering from the disorder explaining it like in a personal way. These to me, these videos always feel unpersonal and usually awkward. I don't know how to explain it well.
No, yeah, absolutely. Because I think one of the issues is that if you're schizoid and you watch this video, there's going to be the way your mind works usually, and the way it takes things apart and tries to like process things. You're probably going to be having the same questions that I'm bringing up as I'm watching it, which is not quite. That not kind of true, but not really. There's going to be like a bunch of stuff like that in there where you're like, that's true, but it's not, but it is, and there's like a bunch of confusing kind of paradoxical sort of situations that comes with being schizoid that aren't really understood by a person just kind of explaining it. But we'll see. The part I want to critique more or go over more is what she personally says on the subject. Right now, she's just reading some of this DSM stuff. And also, that has little, if any, interest in having sexual experiences with another person. That is dead fucking wrong. That is not always the case. I would say it's only probably like half the case. From what I've seen so far. Some of us, I wouldn't say I would argue that maybe the majority of us don't have like a super strong libido. That part I would say okay, that's probably likely. But there's plenty of us that have an interest in sexual experiences. And they might take the shape of requiring certain levels of intimacy or lack of intimacy depending on the Zoid themselves. So, because I've heard both, I've heard Zoids that only want to do those things if there is no intimacy, which is kind of like how I would have probably preferred it when I was younger. And then there's those that only want to if there is some kind of connection, because otherwise it feels unreal or mechanical and yucky or whatever. So, yeah. So again, it's just there's so much room for stuff, but I'll just keep going here.
Not to be confused with like asexuality or aromantic people. This is specific to schizoid personality disorder. Number 4, they take pleasure in few, if any, activities. Number 5, lacks close friends or confidants other than first-degree relatives. Number 6.
Okay, so take pleasure in few, if any, activities. Yeah, that's that one I can't deny. That one is go ahead, E-Man.
I wouldn't say it's taking pleasure in few, if any, activities. It's more like activities that I would actually tell anybody about, or that I can relate to anybody with.
Well, E-Man, are you saying that you have there's a lot of activities you enjoy that you would never want to tell others that you participate in?
Oh yeah.
It,
It's
oh,
about everybody.
oh no, oh no, E-Man, oh no. Considering your job, I can't imagine what those are. That is he's like, I like to tear the heads off squirrels or something. Like, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, man. Could you give us an example of an activity that you would be comfortable mentioning here that you wouldn't be comfortable mentioning elsewhere?
Well, it's like I'm really into like strange things, like magic and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, the occult.
And so like I'll read about some of these like practices and I'll try them, but I'm not gonna go out and be like, oh yeah, hey mom, I'm doing this tonight.
Well,
Or
if you
with
had people in your life that were acceptable, like, okay, so there's a section in my server that's kind of for that, and there's people on here that are totally open to it, and I'm one of those people. So is it how do I explain this? Because you said taking pleasure, so you take pleasure in that activity, but you're saying that you don't
Well,
discuss it, so
it's not.
nobody knows you have activities you take pleasure in.
Well, to me, it's not whatever like the activity itself is. It's in the trying of these things to see if there's a result. That's what my real interest is.
Experimentation.
Yeah.
Okay, well there you go. But that's the thing. Like, do you think more schizoids do enjoy more activities than is understood? Only because of the context of which how it functions. Either it's something they can't do often, or it's something that they don't want to discuss with others because they would maybe they just assume others would not be able to understand or relate to it.
I don't think it's really an issue of understanding or relating. It's because part of being schizoid is part of you is separated off from other people. And so there's going to be things that you think and do that are just for yourself.
And because you don't discuss them, there's the assumption that's made that there are a few activities they take pleasure in. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so God damn it, who's doing it? Is that you, Karma, or who is that, Noma? I keep hearing like a.
It's not me.
I don't know. Say whoever's doing that, please stop. Distracts the shit out of me. Okay, let's see here. Lacks close friends, confidants, first degree relatives. Okay, so that one's weird too because, like, my closest confidant is not a relative. Like,
Yeah, same.
and my relatives. First degree implies what? Like mother, father, right? Sister, brother.
Yeah,
I think so.
that's like
Um,
like people you grew up with.
Yeah, see, so that's not the case for myself at all, and that's not the case for a lot of people I've spoken to, but that is the case for a few of you guys out there too. So again, she pre, previous to like I starting describing these or mentioning these, it said that it includes or has to include, like they're indicative of. So, man, that's not the case at all with a lot of us. So again, there's so much fucking room for improvement when it comes to these descriptors. I would say lacks close friends or confidants. Period. That's it. Like I don't think the attachment of other than first degree relatives is necessary. I mean, even in Karma's case, he's not a first degree relative, right? So so that's what I mean. I think there's definitely room for improvement there. Appears indifferent to praise or criticism of others. That is true for me, except for when it comes to. Damn it! Okay, who was that? Who was that? Was
That's
driving
karma.
Karma.
Oh no, it wasn't me.
Me.
I haven't made any noise.
It's just like, are you coughing or that right there? It did it again. It was like a mic bump or something. Are you walking around or bumping into shit?
Yeah, I'm pacing around my. I'm
Okay,
pacing around my.
sit down. It's the pacing that's making all this noise. It's killing me.
I'm sorry.
Or do push to talk so that way when you want to say something you can talk and then that way when you're pacing around or whatever it doesn't make all these noises. Appears indifferent to praise or criticism of others. That is the case for me, but I like that they place appears because there are people that actually care about that their praise or criticism means something to me because of the context in which it's being done. But in general, no, I am indifferent to praise or criticism. Like, if any of you guys start typing in, this stream sucks, this shit's boring, all I'm going to think is, well, it depends on how many people are saying that, and I might have to adjust it based on my needs for the demographic and the channel needs and so on and so forth. But I would definitely not take it personally or any of that. Do you guys feel the same about those sort of things? Or are you sensitive to criticism or praise?
I just don't care. Like, if it's my channel, like I'm gonna do what I want to do on it, regardless. You know, that's just me. Though I think that's a pretty selfish outlook, but hey, that's whatever.
How about you
Yeah.
guys? Yeah, go ahead, Manoma.
I don't care about praise or criticism from like everyone except the person I'm closest to. But at the same time, I'm also indifferent to her praise and criticism of me. But it's like an anxiety thing. Like initially, I'm just like, oh God, this feels like the world's crumbling around me because she's about to like prod into me.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question or praise or whatever turns out to be fine, and I'm just like, oh, okay. It's weird. It's hard to explain.
So it's the initial the lead up to the praise or criticism that
Yeah, I
makes
think
you.
it's mostly just an anxiety thing.
So, but do you care what you like? Okay, you mentioned your mother. So do you care what she has to say? Like, if your mom's like, "Nanomo, you're a piece of shit, son. You're the worst." Like, well, how do you deal with that? Is that like, are you automatically just destroyed by it, or you're just like, or vice versa?
Okay.
You're the most amazing son ever. You're the best. I love you so much.
probably just, since it's with my mom and I have a lot of trauma with my mom, I'd get a little mad and then I'd go numb.
How about you, E-Man? What's your situation with praise or criticism?
For me, praise is basically worthless. It doesn't do anything for me. And criticism, if it comes from like a particular person and it's about something that I actually tried with, that can affect me. But if it's just somebody I don't know that just wants to criticize me for whatever, I don't care.
Okay, so in your case, you have an interest in the occult. So what if somebody that's a practitioner that knows better than you tells you, "Oh, you did that completely wrong. You're stupid at this." Like, how would you feel?
It would and well, it would depend on like, do I know this? Like, is this somebody I've heard of
Yeah, okay,
before?
somebody you've heard
Like
of.
what?
Yeah,
Like what
somebody
is
that
their
somebody
practice?
that's also known for knowing about these subjects.
In that case, I'd ask them like, what to fix, or like, what do I have to do different?
But would you be hurt by them saying that you did this like an idiot?
If they came to me and just told me I was an idiot, then my response would be like, well, screw you. What do you know?
Well, what if they do know better?
But if it'd still be screw you, because they're coming at me with attitude. If like they came to me and they'd like showed me, like gave me a critique and they're like, okay, let's like, you did this wrong, this should be different, and it's like they're kind of showing me and it's kind of like trying to build on something, I would be grateful for that. But if they're coming at me just telling me I'm an idiot and I'm screwing it up, then I've got no time for them.
Interesting. Okay, the reason I mention this is because that is kind of a way of being affected by praise or criticism. That's a little bit different. Like, for example, you said that praise is worthless to you, but if somebody with that knows more about that, say that subject, and you did something and they told you, "Wow, you did that well. You should be able to get proper results. Good job." What part of that would affect you?
Um, like it's not gonna have any effect on like my mood or motivations. It would just let me know that it's like, okay, I just have to keep doing it this way.
Okay, so it's
So
interesting.
it's more of like a confirmation than, oh, I'm gonna get something out of them telling me this.
But a rude behavior would have an impact on the way your mood is in relation to them, right? So them, because I'm trying to think of
Or at least in the way that I perceive them as like being of value. Because if somebody's gonna just be like a shit, then they're not gonna have as much value to me.
like I don't know. I feel like I'm not really affected too much by somebody approaching me like that. My response to somebody telling me, "Oh, you did that stupid," I would just be like, "Well, it'd probably be more like, well, can you explain to me how?" And not just use fucking words like that because that's not productive, or something like that. Or I would just disregard it and just be like, all right, well, tell me how it's fucking stupid, and then and they would have to be able to take it as well as if they're gonna dish it out. Um, but I don't think I would actually be emotionally impacted by it at all. Like I feel bad in any way. But like I said, that's all contextual. Because like with my wife or my kids, if they said something like that to me, I would be legitimately hurt by it emotionally. But that's only when it involves them. And that might not be the case for any of you guys out there. Maybe you don't have somebody that could hurt you in that way, or you don't allow it to occur for a variety of reasons. But I just find it interesting. I find that whole dynamic interesting. Let's move on before I ramble on forward here.
Appears indifferent to praise or criticism of others, meaning they don't really care if someone's saying nice or mean things about them. Either way, they're just like, eh. Number 7 shows emotional coldness, detachment.
Probably do that less, but I'm not sure what causes that to happen. Hopefully it doesn't affect. Huh?
Discord kind of cut off too.
That's great. Is it back now? Because I'm not playing it yet.
Yeah, it's back on YouTube and Discord.
Okay, I don't know. That's weird. I don't know what causes that shit. I want to know what
The
you said there.
is just
Bipolar disorder, depressive disorder, or anything with psychotic features, or other psychotic disorders, or the autism spectrum disorder.
See, I missed it. Is she saying that it can't have those things?
I thought she said it did have those things.
Also, SPD. No, it says must not occur exclusively during the course or anything with psychotic features. So I'm confused. Is she saying that if you have any of these other features, you're not SPD? Must not occur exclusively. Oh, during the course. Okay. So basically they can't... Okay, it has to be something that's consistently occurring, not just during a psychotic break. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Okay, now I understand. So it's basically saying, like, if you're autistic and you show these features, you're autistic. You're not a schizoid personality disorder. Or if you're having a psychotic break and you're showing features like this, or a psychotic episode, then you might be something else, and it might be in relation to the episode itself, not to actually having schizoid personality disorder. Okay, I think I know what that's trying to express. I'm dumb.
Like they're directionless, just kind of appearing to drift from their goals. They can also appear to be very passive. Like I said, even though something may be upsetting or something's happening in our life, we can be like, so they don't really get upset about any shifts or hard life events that come their way.
That's so difficult for me to tackle right there personally, because I have a lot of anger, and hence the name of the channel, right? And anger and frustration is something I definitely deal with consistently. And so, but it's like the only kind of emotional, like strong emotional range I have on a consistent basis. So if I'm not feeling usually if I'm not feeling actively angry or annoyed, I probably do have somewhat of a flat affect, but I also show quite a bit of facial expression and stuff when I'm laughing or joking around and stuff. And that's not me masking. I'm actually just having some kind of I'm probably distracted from my usual anhedonia and stuff. So it's me having a good, quote unquote, good time, I guess, to the degree that I can have it. So so I don't know how I really feel about how they mentioned. How about you guys? What are your guys' thoughts on that? Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Nobody has thoughts on it. Okay. Just say that.
Oh no, I just got distracted.
Fucks. I'm like, because it makes me feel like as if my fucking Discord dropped. Like, do you, like, I don't know, like, what emotional range do you guys have, like, individually, if you want to mention it? Like,
Ooh.
what,
Ooh.
like, non-mask emotional range. I'm not talking about what you can produce as a mask or for others to see. I'm talking about, like, what is your emotional range, like, can it reach into on a more consistent basis, like sadness, humor, anger? Like, which ones can you actually tap into, or none of the above, or some of them to very small degrees, or all of them to very small degrees? Like, which one is it? I'll start with
Humor.
Okay, well, hold on. Oh, well, yeah, okay. Let's just start with Karma, and then I'll move up. Go ahead, Karma.
Humor, anger, and rage. That's like all I got.
Humor, anger, rage. If we take off the mask, you end up with a lot of humor, anger, and rage, right? Okay. Okay. So how about you, Nanoma? What do we got? What are we working with?
I feel like numbed out anger, or well, it's like
Cold rage,
it's like
right?
intense. Yeah, it's like intense anger, but it's like a flash of it, and then then my brain's just like, that's some emotion. We can't feel that. I also feel sadness, but it's more like a numbed out sadness, but it's not quite absolutely feeling nothing. There's still that tinge of sadness in there.
Okay. How about joy? Any joy at all? Ever?
Mm, I guess so. I'm trying to think of instances of it.
Well, with your friend.
Yeah, I also feel a little bit of it. Gonna get wholesome here, so
It's
prepare
okay.
yourself.
No, it's okay.
I feel it with the Schizoid server,
Mm-hmm.
just because I don't know. You guys are people I can somewhat tap into my emotional empathy with, even if it's just on a minor level.
Nah, I get it, man. All right, before things get too mushy, Magenta. I just saw you were on. All right, Magenta's. I'm guessing Magenta's busy, so let's. Oh, there she is. Okay, go for it.
I'm still here, but like, I don't know. Like, I'm.
What happened?
My like, yeah.
You're just, well, humor. You're cracking up, or whatever.
I can't stop laughing. Like, I've got mood issues right now.
Uh huh. Is it nervous laughter or like I hate the world Joker laughter? Which
No, it's just like it's like if you've had too much weed and you can't stop laughing.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm completely sober, so I don't know what's happening.
That's really odd. Have you been taking any new meds or anything?
Yeah.
I might be kind of messing with that a little bit.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay. Well, then it's probably not a good time to answer this question. Considering, unless you remember what your usual emotional range is prior to this current event you're undertaking.
It kind of varies. It's like a 70-30 split between just feeling numbed out and then like 30% of like mildly happy.
Okay. So, because I have noticed, I know it's is insane as it sounds, all right, because you probably this wouldn't make any sense in any other context. I have noticed that you tend to be a little more charitable as well as optimistic than myself for sure, and maybe a lot of Zoids I speak to. Would you say that's the case?
Yeah, I try to be optimistic because like if I'm not, then like what else is there? You know, like
Yeah, okay. And I get it, but I hope you're okay. And just ride the wave, whatever that wave is. E-Man, your emotional range, my friend.
It's generally really subdued unless like I'm under the influence.
Okay, so but what emotions can you tap into more easily or more consistently? Like I said, in my case, it's anger, and Nomos, I would say like he had said like a cold rage and a sadness. So what would you say? And it's same thing with karma. It's like anger and like humor, not necessarily joy, but like laughing.
For me, it's mostly like anger, but that's when I get to like a breaking point with whatever's going on. But I can get into humor if it's like a very particular situation.
Okay. Yeah, because I've gotten you to laugh a few times. Let me look at some of the chat. See here. Sam Jam says rage fits, usually screaming. I don't scream, but I definitely get rage fits. Kiana says not being affected by life changes like COVID is true for me. William said A says resentment. Yeah, resentment would be that kind of combination. That's kind of what I have, but it would be that kind of combination of sadness with rage. Gameben says he hasn't had a good rage in 6 years. Irritability and humor for Taito. Gameben says they feel a lot of joy and don't have much varied emotions, so it gets boring sometimes. Interesting. So maybe, I mean, I'm not sure if you mean joy or like a mania type situation, but if you're not really getting anything good out of it. And Taito says, please don't die magenta. Okay, so you got to make sure you don't die magenta. Taito said so. And Sam Jam, I just see that schizo type is very funny with a very deadpan type of humor. Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, right? Probably because we're not getting much joy out of the humor. We're just laughing. I don't know. Maybe that's why it tends to come off that way. But anyway, let's keep going here.
Therefore, it can be hard for them to connect socially, and they lack the skills needed to appropriately interact with those around them. Because if everything around us we just feel like, most people don't feel that way, and it can be really hard for others as well as us to feel connected when every time we're just like, well, no big deal, whatever, I don't really care.
Yeah, God, I hate when they try to impersonate a Zoid. Like, impersonate, like, it's so... Oh, it's so cringe, man. Like, I don't like when they do that. I've seen that be done before. Like, just talk about it. Like, none of us are going, whatever. Oh, shucks. Oh, well. Like, what is that, man? Like, I don't... It bugs me. It bugs me when they do that. It's like a weird performative thing. I know it doesn't really mean much. Maybe it's just for the sake of entertainment. I don't know if it's humor they're attempting, but it's annoying. Am I the only one that feels that's annoying?
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yes. It's very
Annoying as fuck.
I'm trying to think of the word, but it's not coming to my mind right now.
I just find it
It's kinda
frustrating.
like they're being like facetious.
Yeah, it feels like mockery almost, but it's not. I'm sure that's not the intention. But to conflate what a schizoid goes through with like the avolition and say things like anhedonia and to kind of perform it by going, well, whatever. Yeah, I don't want to do nothing. Like, it's just silly to me. But let's keep going.
That can be really hard. This is also why those with SPD work best alone, where there is no need for them to interact with others while completing their work. And when under a lot of pressure or experiencing a lot of stress, those with SPD can have brief psychotic episodes. These can last anywhere from minutes to hours. And that's why it's so important to see a mental health professional for a while before you accept this diagnosis.
Okay, so have you, I know I've had that experience. So that part I'll say is absolutely true. If I'm under a specific amount of duress, stress and things like that, and usually it's not because of it's less to do with the activity or the thing that's occurring and more to do with the environment when I fucking snap. And have some kind of like bordering on psychotic rage episode or like desperation, downward spiral type situation. It's usually because I'm trying to fix the problem or I'm trying to repair it, but everything and everyone around me seems to not cooperate. And usually that desperation or that despair is what can cause such an episode to very varying degrees. For me, it would be like a rage episode more than psychotic. I don't know if that's the same thing to a degree, but where I just want to like break my fucking computer screen in half or throw my microphone into the wall or something like that. Where I just want to break shit and burn stuff. Like I'm just so angry. Would you say it requires a certain amount of stress for it to get to that level of some kind of
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like where you freak the fuck out. Like you freak the fuck out and do something like some kind of like maybe self-harm or some kind of like destructive sort of
Or hurt someone else.
well, yeah, get into a fight or something. I don't know.
I've done that.
Me too.
I like to think about that because, but would you agree with me about how it's more about the environmental like context than the actual event that is the stressor, like the inability to fix the problem because of your disconnect or your inability to express yourself in a way that other people can make sense. And so it makes the problem exacerbate, and so then that's what kind of makes you spin out of control. Like that's what it is for me, more than the actual thing itself.
Yeah.
Magenta?
Yeah, I feel like for me, like it's not really like I don't get stressed out and then like go borderline psychotic. Like it's usually when and it doesn't happen loads, but like it's usually when a combination of already being depressed, like not great mood to begin with, plus some other environmental thing. So like if I'm like out at a party and I'm surrounded by other people who are really absorbed in themselves, and I feel like I feel like uncomfortable about other people being there and my
Yeah.
mood's low, then that can trigger me to dissociate, and it's when I dissociate that I start like weird shit happens where I start like not like it, it's like it's more cognitive than like strictly visual. So it's not like I'm seeing things that aren't there, but my brain thinks things are there. Like
Yeah.
I'll feel like people are looking at me when they're like not actually looking at me, you know? Like I'll just like feel that. So
Yeah,
my
no, I
brain's
get that.
spazzing out.
Go ahead, man.
I also get that where it's like a combination of the situation with the environment will cause me to kind of dissociate. But with me, it's a really bizarre effect, kind of like if you ever seen Being John Malkovich when they go through the tunnel, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's that scene where it's like looking at a projection screen. My actual cognitive experience shifts into that, and I'm watching myself do things. I'm not controlling it myself.
Mm.
I don't think I ever get myself experience too much of that kind of disassociation. I think when mine just gets very I just see red. And I feel as if everything is disruptive and unable to comprehend what I'm putting out, and so I want to like I have this like feeling of just resentment toward the existence of everything outside of me, and hatred, I would say, when it gets to these crazy levels. That, like I said, it rarely happens to that point, but it basically just exponentially multiplies my already kind of resentment for a lot of existence. So and it turns into like almost a self-apocalyptic rage, where I just want everything around me to disappear. um it's really bad. It's really bad. And I feel out of control when that happens. But usually, luckily for me, it's never translated into any kind of physical violence or anything like that. It usually turns into more like breaking shit and um, just yelling into things, or just having really angry thoughts about everything, and then just probably like I've gotten so angry that I've like almost have to just get into a fetal position, not out of like out of sheer desperation and anger. I've had that situation when it's been at that level, which thankfully is not often. But anyway, that was a downer. Let's keep going.
It is so often completely or misdiagnosed as something else. And on that note, let's get into differential diagnosis, which is just a fancy way of saying how do we make sure we're taking into consideration all the symptoms that someone's having and giving them the correct diagnosis. When it comes to autism spectrum disorder, it can be really hard to tell with those who are not very impaired by their ASD. But for those who show significant impairment due to ASD, they will have more difficulty with social interaction, communication, and repetitive behaviors, which are not part of schizoid personality disorder. And I imagine if you're like me, as you're thinking about this and hearing the diagnostic criteria, you wonder how schizoid personality disorder can possibly be different from avoidant personality disorder.
Okay, well, that'd be weird. I found it strange that she said if you're like me, obviously you're somebody that does videos on this, so I'm not entirely sure. Unless prior to her doing any kind of research, she thought it was the same thing. So, which is really weird considering that she's a therapist, but whatever.
Because they both just don't seem to like being around others. Well, SPD doesn't have the fear of being embarrassed or being found inadequate like avoidant personality disorder does.
I don't know about that inadequacy part. I feel like a lot of Zoids suffer from a sense of inadequacy. I don't know that it stems from the same place as, say, an avoidant person, but I think feeling unheard, misunderstood, no consideration or inconsiderate or whatever about their existence or their plea for others being able to understand what it is they're trying to convey or how they're trying to express themselves. I think that that there can be plenty of inadequacy that stems from that, or feelings of inadequacy. And oftentimes I also think that those feelings of inadequacy sometimes translate into a resentment for the world around them, and then this belief that they create for themselves that they are themselves better or more logical or rational thinkers than everyone else, and thus the world itself is what's wrong and not them. And obviously I'm not trying to say the other way around either, but I don't think it's as black and white as either the cope or the other people try to say it is, as far as the disorder goes. What do you guys think of that? Anything? Silence. All right. That's the thing. Like, I don't know if I'm actually on when you guys don't say anything. It's so funny. They're all muted. Everyone's muted except for Email. Hilarious. All right. I'll keep going.
I was making noise.
Oh no, it's all good. Like, it's just funny. This is like the funniest fucking stream. Like, because it's just funny. I've never seen a weird delay in response. I kind of love it, to be honest. Let me just keep going with the vid then. I figure it because this is the issue I'm having. I know that many of you won't generally chime in even if you have something to say. And I like to give you guys an opening so that you feel like you can jump in and say something. But I don't know if you guys require that opening or prefer me not to give it to you or what. I really do need an opinion on this so that I know for future streams and things. Like, what do you guys prefer? Like, do you prefer me go, all right, hand it off to the other people so they can say something? Or do you want me to just keep going? And then if you want to say something, you will.
I mean, I just feel a little rude when I interrupt.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. A lot of you guys feel like rude when you interrupt. E-Man?
Yeah, well, I always have a hard time like finding an in. So
yeah, and I feel like Nanoma probably feels the same way because they've expressed that, and I'm guessing Magenta, due to her polite nature, probably feels similarly. So that's why I kind of like to give you guys an opening because of that reason. Because I kind of figured Not everyone is as abrasive as myself, because I'll just fucking push myself in there and make an opening if the one is not being given. But that's just me. I'm fucking nuts. So okay. I'm just gonna keep running this as I normally do, and if you guys just don't say anything, I'm gonna take it as you guys have nothing to say. I'll leave it to like a 15-second delay, and then just assume, oh, they probably don't want to say anything about that. Or it's just so funny to me how all this works, like how, and like none of the conventional methodology of streaming or anything else works for what I'm doing. All right, let me keep going.
Desire to socially interact. Another similar diagnosis, schizotypal personality disorder, is different because it tends to have more cognitive and perceptual distortions. So
Okay, well, now you're just telling us about other ones.
Meaning that they don't really fit in with what's going on around them in their environment, and they have to cause significant impairment in functioning. Now, schizoid personality disorder can first show itself in childhood and adolescence through our desire to be alone a lot, have bad, if any, relationships with our peers.
Schlowling Wunderbar said, could you please continue the vid that... Oh, wait, you did the symbol. I'm sorry. I'm getting used to that sound. I'm not sure if that's what you meant. Could you please continue the vid that facial expression is weird? Yeah, sorry about that one. Remember, guys, I mentioned it before. If you first follow your sentence on the chat with the little kitty in the box, I'll not read it aloud. That'll give me the signal, don't read it aloud. But follow first the kitty in the box, then type it in. That way I know, okay, don't read that. Read it, but in your head, but don't read it out loud. Because I know some of you guys don't like that shit. Okay. So, how did you guys do in school? How were your grades?
I'm trying to actually remember what the fuck the topics were called, or not the topics, but the classes.
Well, I guess science, math, social studies, English.
I was fine in social studies. I think that was my best one. But the rest I was pretty bad at. Well, English I was fine in.
How about you,
But
E-Man?
and...
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. I thought you... Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, math, go ahead. Go ahead.
In science and math, I failed that atrociously.
Was that due to lack of interest?
Yeah, interest, and I just... The teachers gave up on me, and I just kept falling behind since elementary school, so...
What would you say that had to do with your PD?
Probably. In some way, at least.
Some respects. E-Man, how about you? What was your school grades situation?
I generally did all right, but I never did anything like study or like really put effort into like papers or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Karma, yourself?
I mean, I had straight A's through high school, and I took, 5 AP classes. I mean, it was just easy to me.
But
that's why I think it'll be so easy for me to go to college, because I didn't even fucking try in high school, and I kept straight A's even in college level class.
Just bragging away, fucking Karma.
Yes.
I did amazing. I got straight A's. No, but I get it. But did you give a shit?
Yes, I did.
You actually gave a shit.
Yes, to me, my knowledge is my power, And as long as I'm smarter than you, then you have nothing over
Oh
me.
my god. I guess that's one way to cope, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a power complex.
Yeah, that makes kind of sense, but great. See, I never correlated grade performance with knowledge. So
Well,
I didn't quite understand that. Like being able to finish homework and activities and things of that nature, I never felt were parallel to intellect or knowledge. Like I had probably a more similar experience to E-Man in the sense that I really wanted to do any of the work. I would just usually do well on my testing, and that would get me through most classes. Because I was able to absorb whatever information was being given, but I didn't care enough about the homework or activities or projects to give a shit enough to want to get good grades. Especially after sophomore year of high school. It went real downhill real quick when I realized, oh, this doesn't actually matter because everyone's doing this because they want to go to college. And at the time I was thinking, I don't give a shit about going to college. So, because the goal itself was centered around something that I didn't really give a shit about, I gave up trying to achieve high grades.
Well, I think what pushed me the most was that I always was constantly correcting my teachers on their curriculum and telling them how they were wrong. And I thoroughly enjoyed that. And they all hated me for it, but they all had to admit that I was right.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You do have some kind of power complex then, right there. You do have something going on there, Karma, because I can't relate to that whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. I get nothing out of telling people they're wrong and I'm right. Like I get nothing. I get nothing out of it
because they treated me like I was stupid. Because they knew I had ADHD, so they just thought I was a hyperactive idiot, and I was out to prove a point. Back then.
Yeah, that's commendable. I can understand when vengeance is your motivator. That's actually something I appreciate. Magenta, I see you're unmuted. So, how are your grades in school?
I got okay grades.
Were you like a B student?
Mostly A's and B's, yeah.
Okay.
And then I failed my A-levels basically.
So did as you got older, did your grades plummet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because that's kind of what happened to me.
I just lost interest. Like nothing seemed to matter to me. There was no meaning in anything. Everything felt like it was lacking color. I didn't really, and I didn't really see a future for myself. So
why try, right?
Yeah, just why bother?
I feel that on a level 2.
What happened?
I said I felt that on a level 2, all through high school.
Wait, you failed on the what?
I said I feel that, like I felt that way on a level like
that didn't matter.
Yeah, that like in the end, it wasn't going to matter what I fucking do because the ending is always the same with everybody. You die and everybody forgets about you, unless you change the world somehow.
I don't need anybody to remember me, to be honest, except for, like I said, my wife and my kids. I don't want to be remembered by the world, and if they do, then fuck it, whatever. If I end up doing something worthwhile, but to be honest, I'd be perfectly happy doing something worthwhile and never getting all this credit or praise for it. I can give two shits. I can give two shits. Yeah, that's just how I feel about it. All right, well, thanks. Let me keep going here then. Thanks for the input.
Now, while there hasn't been too much research into the treatment of SPD, mostly because those with SPD are not upset by their isolation or lack of relationships, therefore, they don't really reach out for help that often. But one form of treatment that can help is short-term talk therapy. As long as we feel we're able to trust our therapist, we can benefit from it, and it gives us a safe place to challenge any of the misconceptions we may have about our relationships and those around us. Due to our isolation or even psychosis or paranoia, it can be nice to have.
Why is she saying our isolation?
Yeah, she's kind of irritating me.
Yeah, okay, sometimes she talks about it like as a third person, and then sometimes she talks about it in first person.
right? Like she has it.
They don't know because, like, she says like people with SPD, and then she says our, as if she has it. And if she did, she definitely wouldn't be describing it the way she is.
I mean, I've never had a therapist describe it to me or a psychologist describe it to me that way before.
Yeah, but I don't understand. That is definitely a fair critique of the way that she's presenting this. I don't know. Why is she using our? Is it just like a pathos thing to try to relate to people with SPD? So I feel like, oh, she's one of me. She's one of us. I feel you.
I think that,
just, which, if you understand SPD, you would know that wouldn't work. If you understand anything about SPD, is you know that kind of approach is fucking useless. Actively trying to pull on heartstrings or something.
My parents try that all the time.
Makes me sick, man. But also, she said something right before that. Let me go back a little bit. Here we go. Mostly because those with SPD are not upset, therefore they don't really reach out for help that often. That's such a load of fucking horse shit. Because there are people like that, and I've spoken to them already, that feel as if like, well, I don't have a problem, the world's fucked and whatever. But like I've explained before, a lot of the times that's cope, right? Times that's fucking cope, and that's you just trying to fucking live your life and trying to not be taken down or thrown into a fucking spiral because you can't seem to connect to anything or anyone. That's usually cope. But to say that, what is it? The exact wording was that they're not bothered. Yeah. Most people, because they're not upset with their isolation, or they're not upset, and so they don't reach out. No. The reason they don't fucking reach out is because they don't want somebody to intrude upon them. So putting themselves out there already feels like they're being intruded upon on some scale, and so doing that in and of itself may trigger certain defense mechanisms, may trigger a sense of fear or anxiety. That's one reason why they won't. The other reason, which would be somebody like me that has more anger and stuff or resentment, is that you feel as if it's pointless, that you will not be understood, because people are going to tell you shit like this, that you won't be understood, that you won't they won't actually attempt to comprehend what you're saying, just try to fix it. So, and you don't, like I've explained many times before, there's aspects about SPD, and I think cluster A in general, that are very, there are, as they've said in the server, a personality style or a personality type in comparison to the disorder. And oftentimes they conflate the two. And because of this conflation, this leads the schizoid person to not want to attempt to work on the disorder or the negative symptoms of being SPD. And that inability to separate those things causes people to not want to reach out. Because when they do reach out, they're confronted by, say, being told that they have to change their behavior instead of just trying to treat the negative symptoms that come from the world reacting to your behavior. It's so frustrating. I'm getting fucking mad. I'm getting annoyed. So, like I said, this YouTube person, like, they probably don't know any better. So I can't really get mad at them. But it's just this kind of approach in general that is so not helpful. Not useful at all. Anybody that's schizoid that watches this shit, they're just going to be like, I don't like this. I can't relate to this. This is weird. This is making me feel even more disassociated to the world at large. Go ahead, Karma. Sorry.
I mean, I just think that if she's going to get on YouTube and talk about it, she should at least give us the respect of, hey, let me do my research. Let me go talk to people that actually have schizoid PD, and conduct herself in a way that it doesn't feel like she's condescending to us or any other negative feeling you could get. from the way she's conducting herself now.
I don't. There might be a sense of condescension on the part of the Zoid watching it, but I don't think they approached it trying to be condescending. I think it's coming from a place of ignorance. In my opinion, it's coming from a place of not understanding, and attempting to talk on a subject that there is little information about because of these misunderstandings, and so that in itself affected the way she conducted the video, unless most of her videos are done in this same kind of, with the same kind of semi aloof kind of attitude.
Right.
So yeah, I guess that's the part that would be condescending, is this like these kind of displays of aloofness or indifference that she's acting out for the sake of trying to explain what it is that we're experiencing. Anyway,
for help that often. But one form of treatment that can help is short-term talk therapy. As long as we feel we're able to trust perceptions we may have about our relationships and those around us. You know, due to our isolation or even psychosis or paranoia, it can be nice to have someone we can kind of bounce those thoughts off of. Overall, treatment for this is not aimed at curing the patient. Instead, it's aimed at giving them a place to talk about all that may be stressful, like not being able to express emotions, for example, and offering up differing views of life and certain situations. In a way, it just gives us a place to vent and receive helpful tools. Medication is also ineffective unless the person with SPD also struggles with anxiety or depression or something else as a result of their symptoms.
This is so fucking infuriating. Like I said, I want to separate the fact that I'm not mad at this person. I'm not mad at her. I'm mad at whatever information she came across in order to come to these assertions and thought they were accurate enough to record it. And this video is the most watched schizoid definition related video on all of fucking YouTube that I could find, with what is this? How many views? 194,000 views. So that in itself just shows you how fucking the lack of information that exists on this subject. I guarantee you that if you looked up BPD or something else, you're gonna find fucking videos with millions of views. And narcissism and whatever, MPD or anything else, or even schizophrenia, you're gonna see millions of views videos. And so I'm more angry at the information that's out there, and the lack of information, as well as the lack of initiative on the part of people that are trying to discuss these things or study them, especially on the initiative of academics that are like, it's how. All right, I'm trying to calm down. I'm getting fucking mad. I don't know if you guys like me. I don't know if you guys like me mad or not. I often, I'm not entirely sure.
Let it out, bro.
Okay, so okay. This is the problem. The point of getting a PhD, right? The reason people get a PhD, what they have to prove in order to get a PhD is they have to show that they're creating a new bit of information or knowledge that hasn't been discovered or hasn't been thoroughly explained, and they have to produce new things for the body of work at large in their field, right? That's what you do. When you get your PhD, when you do your dissertation or whatever, you're supposed to create this final project that is actually supposed to produce something new in your field. And that's you proving yourself worthy of getting this PhD or whatever. Regardless of what I've said regarding PhDs and how degrees are met and whatever. That's one aspect of it that I agree with. If you're gonna get a doctorate in something, if you're proving to the world that you know your shit, yes, you should produce something new or interesting that's adding to the body of work, no matter how nuanced it is, so that your peers in the same field can go, yeah, this person contributed something. Okay? Okay. Yeah, Taito says, I'm loving the mad. You're expressing so we don't have to. Yeah, yeah. Then I'll get mad for you. I've said it before. I'll get mad for you guys. But when you have an entire fucking field of interest, such as schizoid personality disorder, that is not understood, that is not well researched, that is so on and so forth, Why in the fuck isn't there more people going toward this path? There's so much available there that you could experiment with, study, look into, attempt, right? Because there is such a lack of information that you could probably find something new or interesting and write a fucking dissertation on it. Why is nobody interested in this? And I have a feeling that the reason nobody's interested in this or part is because of what information is currently available, and statements such as most people with SPD don't have a problem with their fucking PD, and so thus don't feel a need to seek out treatment. That challenge... sorry, go ahead.
No, finish what you're saying.
That challenge in and of itself is already difficult to surmount, so there's no one with the cojones to fucking go in that direction to begin with. It's too much work, maybe. I don't know. That, or they're just going to assume that we're fucking boring. I don't know what it is. I don't understand how you can have an entire PD that's so under-researched, misunderstood, and so on and so forth, that there isn't already people jumping on the fucking train to figure this thing out. There's already enough research on every other fucking PD for the most part. There's a lot of research on those PDs. I'm not saying all of them, but there's a lot of research already fucking... They beat that fucking horse dead on a lot of PDs. And I don't understand this lack of interest.
I kind of feel like before I found out that I was Schizoid PD, I just kind of felt like everybody else was fucked up and it was just my ADHD and, you know, I can handle it, you know, like I always have. But like, it's just when I started noticing what was, you know, what it was and that it wasn't my ADHD and shit, it's turned into this monumental task to try to get me to fucking like nip it in the bud, per se. You know, try to get rid of it. Fuck it. Make it go away.
Yeah, but yeah, I get aggravated because like I'm trying to get myself to think a little more straight here because I'm just gonna talk more shit.
Well, I mean, in her defense, I would have never went if I wasn't trying to get my ADHD medicine back. You know, I mean, I would have never found out I had it if I wouldn't have done that. So
that's. I mean, I guess that part is true, but I think the issue too is that there's a lot of people out there with SPD that are suffering. We are miserable.
Oh, yes,
we are angry. We are resentful. We are hurting. We develop comorbids because of not living in a world that seems to be able to understand us in any like consistent way at all, because there is this lack of research and understanding. We don't have places to go to be fucking SPD, and so because of that reason, because our personality style, not the disorder, because the personality style that might have stemmed from trauma or genetics or what have you, because the style itself is not congruent with the world at large, as useful as it could be or as practical as it could be if implemented properly, we develop a ton of fucking comorbids and a ton of fucking insecurities, self-hate, and a variety of problems that are not associated to the style of thinking.
Absolutely. Agreed.
So that's what pisses me off. And so then there's a conflation between the style itself, or the type, the personality type, and the negative symptoms, as if one is producing the other. When what's actually producing a lot of the negative symptoms is the external reaction or the external interpretation of the people around us and the way we are seen or treated because of our strange sort of abnormal or aberrant or anomalous sort of cognition and motivators and so on and so forth.
I feel like...
Go ahead.
I feel like the schizoids that are really good at masking are really fantastic manipulators too.
I could be, but I don't want to be. I have ethics.
Yeah, I don't want to be either. My brother says that I am very manipulative, but I'm like, I just don't see it though. And he was like, I am too, to a point, and I just do it to protect myself. And he's like, I've seen you do it to your parents, to to anybody that would stand as a threat to you, you know. And I'm like, well, if I do it unconsciously because I'm not aware that I'm doing it, you know.
I can absolutely see a situation where that seems to that it can be the case for sure. I think I've definitely done that. I can't even say that I might have done that. I've definitely done that. That's part of the what therapy's helped me with is the way I was actually treating in previous years my wife. I was being neglectful of her needs. I was being neglectful of her as a person because I couldn't cope with the realities of the damage I was causing because of this neglect. The coping mechanisms that would exhibit themselves, such as intellectualization of an emotional situation or dismissing of another person's needs or feelings because I couldn't process them. So that action in and of itself is similar to what leads us down the path of self-hate and
I've been
insecurity
having a
and
lot
things.
of that. I've been having a lot of that in my relationship recently, and
Yeah,
it's just
it's
causing fucking havoc.
it's hard, but it's hard because you have to come to terms with the fact that you're doing something not too good. You are actually exhibiting a certain amount of negative behavior that is in association with the suffering you have endured and the trauma you have endured in having this sort of different kind of cognition and the way the world responds to it. So,
Yeah.
so it's a sad situation. It's a completely shit situation.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
I mean, there's no way out of it. It's just there for eternity.
well, I wouldn't say that, but any other thoughts? Anybody else on the stream that wants to jump in? Here's your opening. Go for it. Nanoma's processing. Took off his mute.
Got the little
I'm actually tired as fuck right now because I didn't get much sleep, so my brain is like extra fried than usual.
God damn it. Well, fried brain. What Jensen's having mood issues. E-Man, save me. Do you have anything?
Well, what do you want to know?
God fucking damn it.
You just talked for like 10 minutes. What do you want to know?
I don't know. Well, I want to know what you thought of what I said. I guess maybe, or what if your opinion on the statements I guess I just made, or if you have other statements regarding what I was discussing or what she mentioned.
Well, like I think the reason why there's not a whole lot of research being done is it's not that there's aren't people coming forward trying to figure out what's going on with them or anything. It's, to me, it's a lot of my experience with mental health professionals is they got into it either because they had something go on with them or somebody they know has something go on with them.
Okay.
And I don't see schizoid being something that is as aggressive as a lot of other mental health issues that would cause somebody to want to pursue it as like what they want to do in life.
Good point.
So it
Good point.
doesn't get a lot like as much attention that way.
That actually makes a lot of sense. That is a really good point, man. So I think what you're saying is because a lot of people that go into the psychological fields, especially people that go and get a PhD and everything and spend all the years studying it and writing on it or whatever, they had something going on in their household or in their life where somebody had a PD or had some kind of abnormal psychology, and that's initial, or they themselves, that's what initially made them gravitate toward the subject or the study. And usually if you have somebody in your family that's schizoid, you're not going to have some kind of active behavior that's going to be negative to the family or to the life of that person, right? And so they're not going to be as
Yeah,
interested, or it's not going to
it's
motivate them.
well, it's something like I've known people that got into it because like they had like bipolar issues where they get really manic and really depressed,
Mm-hmm.
or it's like they know somebody that like developed PTSD and they have like severe issues just
Or they grew up
coping
with like
with life.
narcissistic parents or something, or they.
Yeah, where it's something that really affected them, and I don't see schizoid really being something that affects people around you to that level as other like mental health issues can.
Hmm. That is actually a really good point, and it's just it's so shitty too. I mean, regardless of the reason for it, and that is actually a very good reason for why it might not be, or it's such a neglected field of study. Um, the level of active suffering that is occurring because of it isn't lessened because of the less active nature of the PD. There might be less people suffering at the hands of people that have schizoid PD, but there definitely is plenty of people that are schizoid PD that are suffering gravely on a daily basis, or on a consistent basis. Um, and that is unfortunately maybe perhaps part of the selfish nature of the human condition. Is that because it doesn't have an actively negative impact on the needs of those that don't have it, there doesn't seem to be an interest in studying it. Here's my proposition. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to get to any other videos. I knew this was going to happen, but I kind of figured it would. How long have I been going? I talk. Yeah, it's probably not. But this discussion can definitely keep going. The because of that, was that my point? Oh, fuck, I'm losing my point here. No. I had something really good to say about this. Oh yeah, here we go. This is what I propose. Okay, so listen up. This is important. How many of you are listening? Okay, 18 of you, from what I can tell. Good. Okay, that's why I propose that if we need to find something that can impact the world around us that don't have the PD to make them interested enough in the PD or in the negative symptoms associated with living with that PD because of the way the world, reacts to us. If there's no negative implications that needs to be solved, then I think what we need to do, as I guess whatever community, whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever word will make you cringe out, is to find and show the positive aspects of the personality style, the positive and useful aspects that would make others that do not possess it, or this kind of anomalous cognition, to want to help us with our negative symptoms, so that we could be more active and happier members of human society in a way that's acceptable on both their terms and our own terms, right? And if you actively display the positive aspects of it, since there's no strong negative ones for the individuals that do not possess it, that I think is the only way you're going to make any kind of strides toward getting more research done, or better treatment options for someone with schizoid PD, or a better reaction from the external world to people that have it, or start displaying it from an early age, say in high school or something, right? So the only way interest is going to be garnered is via something reacting or affecting the external world. Nobody's going to give a shit about our suffering just because we're suffering. It's sad, it's fucked, but it's most definitely true in my opinion. Just us suffering is not enough. So, and especially if we're suffering and we don't actively seek out any kind of awareness or help because of the fact that there isn't any kind of awareness or help, which is kind of like a fucking vicious cycle, right? So so that's all we can do. So I think discussing how we can be useful, as weird and gross as that sounds, is the only way we can get the attention that the people with this PD deserve, just like any other human being that's suffering should be helped. So yeah, that's just my thought on it. So I think we can do that. I think over the course of years, we can show people, hey, somebody with schizoid personality type can be very good for A, B, C profession, or good for this or that kind of friend if you're looking for one, or good for, do you want somebody that's low drama, that, let's just say for hobbyists, right? You want somebody that's low drama, that will participate in the activity you and them are both interested in, that won't attempt to pry into your life, that will focus entirely on the activity, such as, like, I don't know, if you want to talk tabletop, playing Dungeons and Dragons or something. If you want a good active player at a game, hobbyists, get yourself a schizoid that is interested in that hobby and leave him the fuck alone when it comes to the friendship stuff. If you do that, you're going to have an awesome participant. You're going to have an awesome participant in your game. Because guess what? When they lose, they're going to be fine. When they win, they're not going to gloat. They're probably going to be like, cool. And that's it. And they're not going to stir up drama. They're not going to cause problems because they're not interested in social issues, like social problems between you and they're not looking actively to fucking fuck somebody in the group. There's a lot of stuff not happening when you're dealing with a schizoid. That's a benefit. That's a good, positive thing you can discuss with other people pertaining to that personality type. If you want some drama, do not include a schizoid. We're not going to bring it to you. We don't want to be a part of it. We don't want to bring it to you. I don't even like gossip. For that matter, I don't even like hearing about drama that I'm not involved in, and I especially don't like being involved in other people's drama. Yeah, somebody put, "I'm dying. Schizoids for hire." I can do science, me, says Sam Jam. Let's see here. Scholling Wunderbar. Actually, all PDs are supposed to reduce suffering in a dysfunctional way, which doesn't work. So yeah. I would say, see, that's the problem. Like, maybe the initial reason why we end up with this kind of different sort of cognition is because it was initially to reduce suffering. But I don't think it leads to being dysfunctional. I think it leads to only being dysfunctional because of the lack of understanding and acceptance of the individuals with that type of thinking that was produced by either some genetic aspect or trauma. If it weren't illegal, schizoids would make excellent mercs. Yeah, honestly, schizoids would probably be really good surgeons, doctors. They'd probably be really good lawyers. Well, not lawyers, because that depends on if they're good at the masking, so because they need the charisma and everything, and the social intuition. They would be good fucking ambulance drivers, medics, firefighters. Probably a lot of stuff that doesn't, in the medical field, that doesn't require as much bedside manner. Like, there's a lot of really good shit some Zoids can do. If you remove their negative symptoms or treat those, all the suffering that many of us probably endured over the course of years of being, exiled from feeling like we're exiled or not a part of society at large, giving somewhere for us to be able to go and discuss, such as this or the server or something like that, having videos or whatever that discuss the subject in a realistic way, more studies on the subject that actually delve into the nuances of having the PD, what it means, what the thinking means, the usefulness of that sort of thinking, so on and so forth, kind of a positivity when it comes to this neurodivergence or whatever. All that kind of shit can lead to happier Zoids that are more useful to society because they feel better about their existence, regardless of how somewhat different it can be. Some schizoid traits are ironically very pro-social. The no drama, no judgment, no collective outrage thing can be valued very highly if you're able to sell it right. Exactly, Wunderbar. That is exactly what I'm talking about. All those fucking things. Oh yeah, they're definitely not useful to the to things like media. They're definitely not useful to people that want you to fall into things like propaganda or control or pathos-based manipulation. Oh no, we are fucking the enemies of those people. But to the people that don't want that or want to strive toward maybe a quote-unquote better world in which that's sort of, yeah, schizoids for hire. Schizoids for hire. Fucking that's gonna be my new company. I'm gonna fucking start. Schizoids for hire. Wunderbar, you have great insight. I agree wholehearted. Yeah, it's absolutely true. You worded it beautifully, Wunderbar. Exactly what I was trying to point out. The positivity. Zoid for president 2024. We ain't gonna do shit, but at least we're honest about it. And that's the thing, Taito. That's a joke. I get it, but there's plenty of Zoid to do shit, man. Like, as long as we have an incentive or an interest in what it is that we're working toward, yeah, we'll work our asses off, man. And as long as the environment is conducive, we will work our asses off harder than a lot of fucking normies out there. Because we can become very focused when the negative symptoms are held at bay or treated. That developed usually over the course of those teenage or early 20s. And if that stuff is treated, boom, you end up with this fucking awesome sort of I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to say a Spock like Vulcan or something, but like something useful, something different. And all in all, man, most human beings just want to feel not loved necessarily, because, you know, some of us just grimace at the thought, but they want to feel comfortable and acceptable. Not in a conformist sort of way, just in a, oh, I'm appreciated for my attributes. Even if in a non-emotional way. Just, oh, I'm respected for my attributes. Because I know that my attributes are applicable to specific situations and things. Boom. I mean, like, look at Her Magenta, are you still there?
I'm kind of.
Okay, yeah, I know you're feeling a little funky today. But, like, Magenta, for example, is somebody that does, like, what's your exact type of work? I'm terrible at, like, what would you say, the field?
I'm just a techie. I just write software.
Okay, point is, I've seen her do stuff on the Discord. Sometimes she's like, you know, showing a little bit of the stuff she's working on, whatever she's doing. Just hours on end. Just hours on end. Like just working on whatever. Like, have you ever done that where you just work for hours and hours and hours on end, Magenta?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And part of that might be due to the personality type. So part of this kind of, like, you know, if you want somebody that will fucking work 12 hours straight at something that they're actually interested in because a lot of their negative symptoms have been worked on or treated or understood, imagine how much more productive yourself would be, Magenta, if you didn't have this suffering, as much of the suffering, or that stuff was treated or helped with. And the environment accepted your sort of atypical personality type and sort of style of thinking. How much more productive would you be? What would you say?
Oh, vastly more. I mean, my biggest problem at the moment is people, because I'm fairly quiet, they just assume that I'm like a junior dev and they put me down and people don't take me as seriously as maybe I'd like them to.
Exactly. And if you were in an environment in which, one, you were less affected by those things because those negative symptoms were treated, and also an environment in which somebody understood, oh, this is just a personality type. They're actually very talented and they're very capable and they're willing to dedicate a ton of time. So just give them the space they need and stop bugging them about being quiet, or stop making preconceived notions about who they are because they're quiet or wish to usually be isolated. Like how much could you produce for whoever your employer? Like much more, right? Because you feel much more comfortable, happier, quote unquote, and so on and so forth with your condition, with your situation. Um, and I think honestly, that's all it comes down to. Go ahead, sorry.
A lot of it is dealing with other people's egos. I mean, like I know how the experience I have. Like I'm not like it's not like I have 20 years. I've got like 6-7 years. But like so I'm like middle of the road. But there's people who have been doing the same job for like the similar amount of time, but because they're slightly older and they got into it later, they just I don't know. They just it's hard. Like it's just
No, I get it.
yeah, it's hard work.
Let's see. Let me look at some. Taito said, "Oh hell yeah, I feel you there. Ain't no one gonna take me away from Minesweeper when I'm in the zone." Minesweeper, the Minesweeper King, Taito art. Catch my ass taking Zoid applications. I'm genuinely chuckling. I love this idea so much. Wunderbar, being valued provides security, and that is all a Zoid needs normally. Yeah, a feeling of security. You give a Zoid a feeling of security, and you treat their negative emotional symptoms, and at the same time, by treating those those negative symptoms, they might produce the ability to have a wider range of emotions on an organic level, not a prescriptive level. Not you telling them to change their behavior, but no, them coming to the conclusion of, oh, look, people around me care enough to understand my situation. Maybe I want to learn more about theirs because I want to experience some more things, and so on and so forth. Like, yeah, hold on. Just scream around how great you are and do half the work. That's how it works, doesn't it? No, that's not how it works. But yeah, that's my point. I think the point I want to end this most of this with is the importance of feeling secure, maybe not feeling valued, the feeling secure in your situation. And when you feel that your value is respected, it motivates you to work harder. It incentivizes you to do so. And on top of that, if you're treating the negative symptoms that develop due to this lack of feeling valued by the world and things around you because of the social implications that come with having this kind of anomalous cognition and having different motivators than the average person that generally might fall in line with things like evolutionary psychology and behaviors and shit like that. Point is, an understanding of that and increasing awareness in that could promote the positive aspects of our personality type, which they can then treat the disorder aspect of it, and make things just overall better. But in any case, I gotta end this, guys. It's been good. I appreciate you guys being here. Also, I just gotta throw it in to the shield before everyone disappears on me. Patreon, please. Patreon, give me your fucking money. Give me your fucking money. That'll help me keep this. I'll reinvest it into things like for the channel and stuff eventually. I gotta figure out what to do though. Also, PayPal, that helps. And thank you to anyone who already does it. And also the Bitcoin stuff is useful. Who knows? It might skyrocket. It might drop again. Whatever. I'll just sell it when it's big. But anything is good. Anything is appreciated, and so on. Any last words from everyone else on here? Anything you guys want to throw in or mention before I shut it all down?
Don't forget to send me your email.
Oh yeah, I'll send you my email. I gotta do that. I'll do that for sure, so that way I could read your shitty book on a live stream. I'm just kidding. I probably won't do that. Anybody else? No, no one else? E-Man? No? Everyone good? Alright, cool. Alright, guys. Well, actually, you know what? Let's see. Was that the end? That was the end, huh? Yeah, that was the end, huh? of the video, I think. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's just a bunch of bullshit. Okay. Maybe next time I'll do Todd
looking to
Grand.
increase your
So,
Google ads?
fuck. God. And then maybe I'll do a Todd Grand one next time. We can talk about some Todd Grand shit. Because I see that motherfucker everywhere. I want to see if he's worth his salt when it comes to Schizoid. We'll see what he has to say. One day I'm going to do... Real quick, I am going to do a stream, probably a more scheduled and pre-planned stream so that people know what it is and we can get some people on here to talk about it more directly. When it comes to the discussion between Greenberg and I forgot the other woman's name that is more nuanced and she seems to understand the disorder or the type or whatever a lot better. Thanks a lot, guys.